Hello, hello, lovely people on YouTube that are watching this video later. Say hi, guys. Look at this. We're gonna react to Mugen, how massive K-pop agency broke all U.S. child labor laws. Let's do this, guys. Yay! I saw the title and I had to click it, so I clicked it.
Best place to get yelled at in a language that you don't understand. British.
British.
Many people from all over the country line up in the hundreds,
American
sometimes
Got
the thousands, just to get one chance at achieving their ultimate dream. But what if you took this concept that targets all age ranges and all demographics and used it to specifically target K-pop teen fans? You get the show A2K, otherwise known as America to Korea.
America to Korea.
American K-pop fans the opportunity to not only compete doing something that they love, but if they win, they get to join one of the biggest South Korean K-pop agencies on the planet.
That's crazy. Who's gonna say that's crazy. That's crazy, though.
Heaven on earth. Yes, that's right. South Korea.
Yeah, that sounds really fun.
Come from where much like some of the biggest K-pop idol groups on the planet, they would get to go through slave labor. I mean, sorry, a very intense training regimen. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Even though they probably had, I don't know, tens of thousands of applicants from the entire United States, the agency ended up picking...
How bad is K-pop, idol groups situation? I heard about it from time to time, but is it really, really bad? Is it really, really bad? I don't really hear K-pop all that often, so I wouldn't know. Is it bad? How bad is it? If someone in the comments later decide to give me an explanation, I would love that.
The top 11 finalists and made the show centered around them. The top 5 winners would be part of the next big idol group, the first Americans to do so. There was a concern though. Every single person on this image is a child, a minor. Now you might think that's normal. South Korean idols start very young, sure, but not this young because someone on this image is 12 years old. But listen, this might be a South Korean agency, but they are on American soil. There are laws in this country, child labor laws, that do allow them to work, but with enough breaks, a guardian looking after them, and a big importance placed on their mental health. Okay?
That's
so
crazy.
Take a step back, buddy. Everything's gonna be just fine. What's this? A lawsuit against the agency from one of those minors. Oh,
there was a lawsuit?
Seen that one coming. Let's see. What are they being accused of? Child labor exploitation, child neglect and abuse, and unfair business practices? Huh. I was so caught off guard by this, guys, because this agency only has a good track record. It's not like in the past, they made one of their top talents eat ice cubes for a week because she was considered too fat. Guys, let's talk about it because it gets way worse. Get ready.
That's a real thing that happens.
If you haven't been living under a rock and browsed the
internet cruel. That's inhuman, though. What the fuck?
The fact that K-pop has been taking over the world these last few years. Now, yeah, sure. Back in 2012, the only introduction people had to K-pop was Gangnam Style.
I love Gangnam Style.
By the way. But now it's a global phenomenon. According to Spotify, just in the last 5 years, K-pop streams surged over 362% globally, with no sign of slowing down. This means that K-pop is easily South Korea's biggest export, second only to kimchi, of course.
Second only to kimchi.
That's the global phenomenon right here. When it comes to fans abroad, even though it's a global
kimchi is really popular.
You'll find many of them still in the Asian region.
Never had kimchi, and I want to try.
Always find on these lists is Japan, usually in number 1. It's no surprise since the whole idol industry actually originated there. Now, much like how in the US,
it started in Japan.
85% of music is controlled by the 3 biggest music labels. K-pop is no different, being controlled by the big 4. HYBE, YG Entertainment, SM Entertainment, and JYP. Seeing how much success K-pop was having in Japan, JYP came up with an idea. In 2020, they created the show Nizi Project, a talent show in Japan to find the next idol group. The 9 winners were then used to form the group Nizi U. The idea was simple. JYP Entertainment had created so many successful idol groups. They were convinced that no matter the nationality, no matter the language, if they had brought them to South Korea and trained them under the same intense training regimen, they could also become successful. And hey, you know what? To their credit, that's exactly what happened. This only served to embolden JYP Entertainment and made them truly believe that they could bring in any group of people to South Korea and have them leave as idols. The next step was simple. Another country that was always beside Japan in these top 5 lists of foreign listeners of K-pop was, of course, the United States.
The United
Their positioning
States.
varies.
I
This
see.
list has them in top 2, but they're typically always in top 5. What
Oh, they're
makes them
top 5?
especially valuable is the fact that Americans have incredible purchasing power. They'll buy all your merch. They'll buy your tickets at exorbitant prices because God bless credit cards. So the next step for JYP Entertainment seemed very straightforward. Let's recreate the success that we had in Japan, but this time in the United States under the name of
I also love my
A2K,
Canadian audience. I love my
America
Canadian.
to
I
Korea.
love all my
Our
audiences.
local partner in the US was going to be Republic Records.
I don't think
a label
K-pop
that
is
represents
overrated.
many
It's more
of the
like
top talents
they
in
work
the US,
hard
such
as
Post
heck.
Malone, Ariana Grande, Nicki Minaj, The Weeknd, etc., etc.
I'm never gonna say something is overrated for one singular reason. It takes not only luck to get far, it takes promotion, it takes work. So I'm never gonna call something overrated. And also, you can lose people incredibly fast. And just by like doing something that they don't like. So staying up there is very impressive.
This was a huge phenomenon with auditions held in Dallas, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, and Los Angeles.
If a fan flips on you, you know you're fucked.
All over the country, with promises of fame, first-class training, and the incredible achievement of being the first American-based idol group under a major South Korean talent agency. After 22 episodes, 6 of the final 11 contestants were picked to form the group Vicha, spelled VCHA. Most of them had ages from 15 to 17, except one of them, Kaylee Lee. She was 12 at the time of filming. Yes, you're not dreaming. I mean, look at her, dude. Like, look at her. She's a child. Now look, when it comes to K-pop idols, starting young is nothing new. 14 or 15 is standard, with some people considering 18 being too old. But 12 is young even by South Korean standards. It's kind of crazy. Seeing that JYP Entertainment didn't really have that much of an amazing reputation.
Starting off as
in how they
18
treated
is
their
considered
talents,
old?
the famed
What the
South
fuck?
Korean idol training regimen didn't really sound like an amazing idea for a 12-year-old. So many fans, both Western and South Korean actually, were concerned. This became such a heated topic that it prompted one of the representatives of JYP Entertainment's LA office to talk about it during an interview, saying this.
I mean, yeah, starting off that young is really crazy. I don't recommend any kid working that young.
Addressed these concerns, assuring fans that the company has been strictly following regulations set by California regarding minors working in the entertainment industry. These regulations include restrictions on working hours for minors, access to education through provided tutors, and guardian presence when needed. He was quoted saying, "That rule has been put together and followed until today, and it'll be followed until later." After the statement, the concerns about Kaylee's age were sidelined because, well, Vicha was doing pretty damn good. Not too long after winning A2K, they released a song on September 2023 titled
they did good for some point.
It did so well that it was #1 on the US Billboard for hot trending songs. It was a
What is
massive
it? I never
achievement,
listened
seeing
to
that
it.
they haven't even debuted yet officially as a group. People were slowly starting to realize their massive potential. They ended up debuting on January 26, 2024 with the single Girls of the Year. The song was again a success, uploaded on JYP Entertainment's official YouTube channel and currently being at 10 million views.
Well, that's a lot of views.
The sky was the limit for Vicha, and they were doing exactly what JYP Entertainment was hoping they'd do, attracting both fans from the US and South Korea at the same time. But of course, we're talking about the idol industry here, and the idol industry very rarely has happy endings. Their careers would run into a major roadblock not even a month after their debut, when their official Twitter account would tweet this, saying information about Kaylee's further participation in Vicha activity. Hello, this is JYP Entertainment. We would like to inform you about Vicha member Kaylee's participation in upcoming Vicha's activities.
What is this?
Due to a health condition, Kaylee will be taking a hiatus from upcoming Vicha activities until further notice.
What?
We will provide further updates regarding the resumption of Kaylee's activities. We will continue to place the highest priority on our artist's health and ask for your support in Kaylee's full recovery. Thank you.
What happened?
People were of course shocked, but more importantly, they were hoping that she was okay. Because by that time, she was like 13 or something, right? She was really very young. But still, one couldn't help but notice that this statement was extra vague, more than usual. They said the group would continue without Kaylee. Fine. But instead, fans only got radio silence. The group wouldn't really perform much anymore, but at least there would be some social media posts. However, around June, all of that would change. This was the last post right here in the beginning of June, and then nothing. The only thing posted being their birthday celebrations, which is something typical for idol groups. It was the same exact thing with every one of their social media pages.
They have happy birthday things.
Since
I
June
never posted
2024
anything on my
with
birthday.
no updates.
I should have done that.
At some point, they were meant to perform at the end of June in an event called Lollapalooza in the United States. Their appearance was also cancelled. So again, more speculation, more rumors.
What's going on?
What was going on behind the scenes? They had crazy momentum.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Sure.
What's going on?
Is that really enough to stop all activities? It was only on December 7th, 2024, almost 10 months after Kaylee's hiatus, that fans got some sort of an update, and unfortunately, it wasn't a happy
It was a lawsuit.
KG, otherwise known as Kiera Grace Matter, one of the members of Vicha, filed a lawsuit against JYP USA, their subsidiary in the US, alleging some of the worst crimes you can ever be accused of. Most notably,
that makes sense.
Child labor abuse. Now, she is still a minor. As of the end of 2024, she is 17 years old, so this lawsuit was filed by her guardian, her mother, in the Los Angeles County Court. She revealed this in an Instagram story in a statement that shocked everyone. Here's what she had to say. I filed a lawsuit because I have decided to terminate my contract with JYP Entertainment and exit Vicha after experiencing incidents of abuse and mistreatment by certain staff members. I feel it was not a good environment for my mental health and apologize if my leave disappoints any of you. I'm not in support of the working and living conditions that led a member to attempt suicide, nor do I support an environment that encourages eating disorders and has caused members to self-harm. So of course I have to censor that word because of YouTube, but yes, let's just say that one of the members was attempting to leave this planet due to the work environment suffered at JYP Entertainment. Yeah, you think this is crazy? It gets even crazier as we go through this lawsuit.
Okay, so it's bad. It's bad. Okay, I see. It's bad. I made this decision
back in May, and I'm still waiting for release from my contract. I'm worried for the girls who are.
I'm worried about K-pop idols. I'm worried about K-pop groups.
At JYP Entertainment,
I'm worried about them.
I aspire to be.
What the heck?
I really enjoy songwriting and production. I have accumulated a massive amount of company debt while being paid very little for the intense work and extreme limitations on our personal lives. Although such incidents occurred, there were also beautiful moments. Alright, time to dive into this catastrophic lawsuit. Here are some of the allegations in this lawsuit against JYP
good thing this happened in America.
KG. It starts off strong with physical and emotional abuse. Here's what the lawsuit says. On or around September 14th, 2023, so before their debut, KM, which is KG, was singled out by a dance instructor for her lack of formal dance training. The instructor, yelling in the Korean language, demanded KM repeat a single dance move hundreds of times without rest, while KM was forced to hold a squat position. KM, in visible pain and exhaustion, was denied a water break that all the other girls received. The instructor told her she could only drink water when she perfected the move. The hours of forced repetition caused KM to tear a tendon in her shoulder. The pain was excruciating. Yet
this is not what I was expecting. It's bad.
Work through the injury, refusing to allow her adequate time to recover. KM was later sent to the hospital and received injections for her shoulder, but was expected to return to full dance training immediately. This was not an isolated incident. Throughout her time at JYP, KM and other members of Vicha were repeatedly forced to dance and perform with severe injuries, including sprained ankles, strained muscles, and other conditions. KM's doctors recommended rest, but JYP Entertainment ignored these recommendations, insisting she continued at full capacity. During one evaluation, KM's leg injury was severe, and she asked staff if she could take it easy. She was told no. JYP Entertainment staff continued to get her multiple injections while she was expected to keep performing. So listen, just as a reminder, these are minors, okay? These are children, all right? Let's keep going.
Yeah, makes sense how we got this all. Makes sense.
12+ hour days, KG says she was paid $500 weekly, which is far below California's minimum wage. After her time with Vicha, she shared that she owed over $500,000 with expenses stemming from the group's lavish living expenses. Per California labor laws, a minor is legally entitled to earn the state's minimum wage of $10.5 per hour in most cases. You know, we talk about student loans all the time, right? And these decisions are made as an adult, as an 18-year-old or older. Yeah. Imagine putting a 16-year-old, right? Or a 15-year-old, or hell, a 12-year-old in $500,000 worth of debt when they have no idea what money even is at this point. The lawsuit says that this $500,000 are company expenses.
I haven't even held that amount of money.
That group living was optional. It was not presented that way to KM. She was pressured to live there by JYP Entertainment staff, leaving her with a fear of negative repercussions if she did not. She was told by JYP Entertainment staff, we want the girls to live together, that the group would not be successful if the girls didn't live together, that it was important for the girls to live together, and that if KM did not live with the girls, she'd be viewed in a negative way. And when she agreed to JYP Entertainment's demand to live with the girls because she was reasonably
I
afraid about
I
what
hope
would
that
happen if she chose not to
these
live
girls
with them,
were able to
was
like
not
get better
given
after
any
this.
choice about what the group accommodations
I hope they were able to
be.
get better
JYP
after
Entertainment
this.
chose a $2.5 million house. The result of this, JYP Entertainment now claims that KM owes more than $500,000 under the employment agreement, because the exorbitant lifestyles that they fund are what JYP Entertainment uses to attract fans. So this is not new, right? Unfortunately, okay? The K-pop industry is desensitized to such things. You bring in talent, you oppress them, you harass them, you put them in terrible situations, but then when they try to leave, you tell them, wait. That lavish lifestyle you've been living that you didn't ask for, well,
that's crazy.
It costs money. You owe us $500,000. You simply can't leave. You're ours forever. But guys, don't worry.
So yeah, I wish they could leave.
JYP Entertainment also
surveillance.
imposed constant surveillance on KM and her fellow group members, hidden cameras, including one in the group's dining area that on information and belief had an 8-megapixel camera with a 120-degree wide-angle lens. Recorded the girls' private conversations and meals without their consent or knowledge. Again, guys, listen, let me just pause this real quick. These are minors. All right, let's continue. A surveillance sticker found on the ceiling of the pantry further revealed that their eating habits were being monitored around the clock. KM only discovered the cameras months after they had been installed, deepening her feelings of being trapped, controlled, and powerless. Like, tell me any other circumstance where this is acceptable. Guys, if a parent was doing this to their children, they would be considered weird, all right? But this is a corporation with strangers, not family. It's crazy. And now this is where it gets very tragic. Mental health neglect. The lawsuit states this: KM and her fellow group members, many of whom were underage, struggled mentally and emotionally under the constant pressure. Some of the members resorted to self-harm.
That seems bad.
KM witnessed another member of the group
terrible.
spiral into a deep eating disorder, which culminated in a suicide attempt in February 2024. That member ingested 42 pills of NyQuil.
Oh,
but
okay,
the other member began vomiting uncontrollably the next morning. Months prior, KM and other members had brought their concerns about this particular member to JYP Entertainment staff, but JYP staff did not seem concerned and stated that eating disorders were common. JYP concealed the member's suicide attempt from JYP's child welfare worker, Eric Winston, and other staff, instructing KM and the other girls to lie to Eric and claimed the member went home to spend time with her family. Eric since admitted on a phone call with KM and her mother that he was not informed about the member's suicide attempt, but was told by JYP Entertainment staff that the member suffered from food poisoning. Now listen, I don't care who you are, right? Whether you're a K-pop star, is that
common thing?
Type of industry, this cannot be excused. This is a minor, and you were lying to her child welfare worker about an attempt, bro. That's insane to me.
Yeah, that is not legal. I'm pretty sure that is not legal. That is not legal. Don't know. I think GG hate their title high.
K-pop, there's a lot of rumors, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of people love to do theories. People speculate that the person who went through this was Kaylee, the 12-year-old. Yeah, sure, it's probable, but why does it matter? We're dealing with 6 children. Whoever this happened to is tragic. It doesn't really matter who it was.
That is true.
The fact that they tried to hide it, JYP staff deserves prison time for that. And of course they felt really bad and depressed because JYP also broke labor laws in California. The girls would wake up at 7 a.m. and finish their day close to midnight, barely sleeping for 6 hours and doing it all over again the next day, not even being compensated financially for any work they did after 6:30 p.m., right? They were working overtime as children and not even being paid for it. This is
they should be paid for it. That is not good labor laws. They need labor laws. Labor laws exist. Labor laws exist.
Vicha's official Twitter page.
I'm horrified actually. I didn't know it was this bad. I didn't know K-pop was in this level of bad. I didn't know. I didn't know.
Hereafter referred to as KG in her public statements on social media. In May of this year, KG left the group residence and initiated discussions through her legal representatives. In response, we temporarily suspended Vicha's planned activities and engaged in extensive discussions with KG's representatives to explore potential resolutions. However, recently, we have not received any response from KG's representatives, leaving our legal representatives awaiting further communication.
That does not seem normal. That is not normal.
And make unilateral public statements containing false and exaggerated claims. This action has caused significant harm to the other members of Vicha and JYP USA who have been working diligently on their upcoming album and projects for early 2025. JYP USA will take all necessary measures to ensure that neither the other members of
lie,
VCHA
though?
nor
I don't
JYP
think.
USA
What would be the use?
as a result
What
of
would
this
be the
matter.
use of lying
Thank
about
you,
this?
Sincerely, JYP
Think about it.
USA.
What is the use of lying
Doesn't
about
this
something
remind
like
you
this?
of another corporation?
It
Because I
does.
remember Nijisanji when I read this.
Niji.
And I guess
Reminds
it's no
me.
surprise. It's an idol corporation. Nijisanji looks up to such corporations and tries to mimic them. They're now blaming KG for all the misfortune that VCHA has went through. And that's what K-pop agencies do. They use this narrative to control the fans' emotions. The fans will see this and think, oh, JYP sucks, man. We shouldn't support them. But on the other hand, I love VCHA and I want the best for them, so I'll still support them anyway. But in the end, who do you think gets most of the money when you support VCHA? You know? You lose either way, unfortunately. KG then responded to JYP's response, saying, in response to JYP USA's recent statement, I'm very disappointed in the company's lack of accountability. My legal team and I are fully prepared with photographic and physical evidence to prove my allegations are factual, not exaggerated, nor false. Thank you to the public for your unwavering support. Please treat both sides with kindness, as this is a difficult time for everyone. I will continue to fight for better treatment of K-pop idols and trainees, in which I promise to speak nothing but the truth. I hope by coming forward, other trainees, idols, and group members can be encouraged to use their voice in order to make a positive change.
I hope that the idol industry has changed in the future, I'm gonna be honest.
So look, overall, the K-pop community is actually on her side. As I mentioned in the intro of this video, JYP is known for this. All of the big four in K-pop, unfortunately, are known for this. But South Korea is desensitized to such things, and Japan has similar culture to South Korea, so when they went to Japan to get that group to work for them, it still worked. But it's not gonna pass in America, where you can literally sue for the smallest inconvenience, okay? So massive respect to Kiara for doing this. Look, overall, this has massive implications for the K-pop industry, especially abroad.
Yeah, I noticed.
A lot of the revenue
it's
generated
brutal.
by these agencies are outside of South Korea. So the fact that JYP's American subsidiary is now embroiled in an incredibly crazy lawsuit in the Los Angeles County Court, I mean, this can change
they went to American
soil,
made people in the U.S. work for them. It's like a U.S. branch, so it still technically falls under U.S. laws, no?
Regulate itself already and stop being literal slave labor. Thank you so much for watching until the very end. I really, really appreciate it. I love you, and please stay safe and don't join a K-pop agency.
Yeah, okay? I don't want you guys to try that either. Anyways, guys, that was a video by Mujin. How massive K-pop break. If it was this video, I'm gonna link the original link in the description later when I post the video. Yes.